Welcome back to another episode of the Evolve Marketing Podcast. I am here with my co-host, as usual, Brian Brewer, and today we're gonna talk about some of the changes that has been happening in the online world, first of all, and of course with our businesses as well. But first of all, Brian, how's it going, brother?
Yeah, it's going pretty well, Andrei. Good to see you again today. Got some news finally after this. I don't know if this is necessarily business related, but as some people may know, in the end of March, a couple weeks ago, my ClickFunnels Dream Car, which was a truck I won for referring a number of affiliates to ClickFunnels, was totaled right in front of my house. And it was
Wow.
parked in front of my house, and a car ran right into it, and it got totaled out. So yesterday, it was a busy day, but I ended up getting my new car finally yesterday. So that is taken care of now, and we're back to regular operating order here. So that's good news for us.
Wow, that must suck, like waking up and then seeing your car total in front of your house. Or did you even hear the accident?
No, yeah, it was not in the middle of the night, which you would typically expect. I
Mm,
generally put my truck into the driveway at night because I'm always worried about people having a little bit too much fun at a party and then
mm-hmm.
going home and then smashing into that thing or sideswiping it. But no, it was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and just getting ready to leave to go pick up my daughter from horse riding. And as soon as I was about ready to grab the door handle to the front door, I heard a loud bang and the house shook. And my wife was like, "What was that?"
Mm.
And I opened the door and someone had hit my truck. So luckily everybody was okay. But with all the technology and those things these days, they hauled it off. It was not drivable, and they hauled it off to the collision center. And their initial instincts were that it was totaled. Then they got the insurance adjuster out there and confirmed that it was totaled. And so it's the end of the ClickFunnels dream truck. So it's kind of a new era. It's funny. I talked to Turner Leslie the other day, who is our or was our affiliate manager. He's moved on to a new
Yeah.
opportunity now, so he's no longer with ClickFunnels. But I told him, hey, you're changing eras with the new job. I'm changing eras too because the ClickFunnels dream truck is dead. And he's like, oh no.
Did you get another truck or a different car?
I ended up getting a Suburban this time.
Okay.
So, it's nice. It still has the towing capacity and the diesel engine and the, four-wheel drive and all that. But we got a Wagoneer for the rental, which is kind of like a Suburban, just a big SUV, and my family loved it. So they outvoted me, and I did not get a truck. So now, now I've entered the Suburban era of my life, which is good. The kids are getting older, so it kind of
Yes,
makes sense.
you can still go off roading. You can still go hunting. You can still do a lot of things with
Absolutely.
the big
I
car.
can still pack the back full, and I can still drive on the beach down here in Texas. So we'll be good. Well, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's great,
Yeah.
man. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, sorry that happened. Like getting a car crash. I also was in a car accident
I remember that.
like a couple months ago. I think like a month ago. So I just got my car back actually from they fixed it. So it sucks. It's an inconvenience, but I mean it happens, right? At least everybody was okay.
Yep, that's all that matters. And we weren't inside of it, and the other party was fine. So that's good news. So, anyways, that was the non-business stuff. But let's talk just about the business stuff now, because well, I guess last week we both kind of implemented a couple of new changes. You made a little bit of a change from, let's just call it your link, right? Your link in your bio. You're sending people to a different destination now. Maybe testing that out, switching, staying current with the market. So we'll talk about that. And then afterwards, I started running ads again on TikTok for the first time, I believe in 2024. I don't think I ran any ads. Nope, this is the first time I ran ads in 2024. And so we're going to talk about just kind of the basics of when you should start running ads, what the goal is. And then I'll jump into the computer here for those who are watching on YouTube and just show a little demonstration to show you how to get TikTok ads set up, because they're great. It's a great platform, good attribution, great targeting, and the conversion is good as well. So we'll get into those things. So let's start with you, Andre.
Yeah. So yeah, the first thing is the link on the bio, right? Like I made a couple changes just to adjust to the market, I guess you can say, and also to try new things out, right? You can always stay comfortable with what you're doing. So the big change that I made right now, for my English at least, right, is I made my own stance store, and I started realizing, like why do people use a stance store, and then I think one of the main things that came to my mind is because they're building a personal brand, right? So that's something that I basically noticed even from the beginning. and I just wanted to try it out. I started thinking about everything that I'm doing for my business, and I have a lot of things going on. I have so many different projects, and I just want to showcase that in a different way, right? Something that I haven't really done in the past. I guess it goes back with some strategies that we have talked in the past in this podcast, just having people go straight to a link on the bio, having people opt in right away. And it does go against those things that we were talking in the past, and we still recommend not to use it. Okay, so if you're a complete beginner, I still do not recommend that you use a stand store, and that's something that I wouldn't teach my own students, especially with my Spanish course. But at the moment where I'm at with my business and what I want to accomplish, I just want to try it out. You get me? So those are the things that I added. I added different products in there, different projects. I even have my podcast in there. This podcast, you get me? I even have my Spanish course in there as well, so people can actually see everything that I do.
Yeah, and I think that's the key factor there is where are you at in your business? And that's exactly right. I
Mhm.
mean, you're to the point now where it's more of a personal brand. And it goes back to I think what Igor Kafetz told us. He was a past guest on the episode, and he's a brilliant marketer. And we talked about different offers, especially with email lists, because that's his specialty is email marketing. And we talked about confusion a little bit. And in the
Mhm.
beginning, when you're first getting started, you need to keep it simple and streamlined, right? With funnels. Hey, this is it. This is what I'm promoting. This is the one thing that changed my life, or the one thing that I recommend to you to change your life. And just take people on a straight journey. Don't add complication, because the easiest way to make significant income is straight line, right? Do this, do this, do this, and buy this, right? But when you get to the point where you're building a personal brand like you are, as Igor said, I'd rather have them buy A or B than nothing at all, right? And that's exactly what you
Yeah.
have going on. You have all kinds of things going on, different products, different offers, English, Spanish. This podcast, which I did see was on your stand store, and I was very happy about that. So that's awesome. Thank you very much for that. But it makes sense because when people get to know you and they follow you for a little while, they're going to want to see what kind of things you're into, and that gives them the easiest way to identify all of your activities. Plus, it allows you, I think, to have more freedom with your content. For example, if you want to talk about your
Exactly.
podcast, you can talk about your podcast in a short or a reel or whatever piece of content we're talking about, and then they can find it right there, nice and easy. So I think it makes a lot of sense when you're ready.
Exactly. And I think that's a great point that you make, right? Because you can make different type of content now in your own regular social media platform, because now you're gonna have those options there. People can go and check it out, and if they see a video that they relate to, you get me, and I'm talking about my podcast, then they already know to go on the link, and then they're gonna be able to see, oh, okay, here's the podcast. You get
Mm-hmm.
me? So I guess as it's kind of a different marketing strategy, I guess you can say, because I'm so used to just sending people to one offer, um, and then one funnel, one list. You get me? But now everything is gonna change because it's gonna give me more opportunity to reach a different audience with the type of content that I'm gonna make now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would even say that perhaps it's more of a different goal, right? Like obviously you want to make sales, you want to make money, but that's not goal number one, I don't think anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Goal number one is getting people to follow you and know you and want to keep following you and learn more about you. That way, you need long-term stability, I think, right? And
Yeah, so
and
right now
some
I'm in the growth trajectory right now because I started my accounts from zero, at least in English, you get me? Like those accounts that I had a bunch of followers, I deleted them. You get me? So right now I'm just in the growth trajectory to like get to find my audience again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're at a point now where, you don't need to make a sale today or tomorrow, or that, you would rather have somebody. So when you're using funnels, you bring people in, and for the most part, there will be some people who buy in and want to follow you for the rest of your career, or at least the foreseeable future. But really, your goal is to get the most people to buy something from you. But once you hit a certain point, hey, it's okay if they're not ready to buy from you yet. Hey, maybe go check out my podcast so you don't forget about me. That way, when they are ready to buy, you're still fresh on their mind. And I talk a lot about that with email marketing and such. I've been pretty consistent over the last 8 years with just sending emails all the time, sometimes two, sometimes three a day. And my goal is just, hey, I don't care if you buy today or this month. I don't care if you buy 3 years from now. It's not if you're going to buy, it's when you're going to buy. And I'm willing to
Yeah.
kind of wait you out till you're ready.
Exactly. And then I'm trying it out. Just how you say, it's harder to make a sale with those pages. You get me? Because
Hmm.
people will get confused and there will be confusion. But at the point where I'm at, I don't need those initial sales. I want people to get to know me and what my projects are and what I have to do. Um, for example, for my Spanish business, I'm not using a stand store. Like I'm still not gonna teach that to my students because they're not at the point where they should be, you get me? With their income and then with the experience that they have, that program is not even a year old yet. So
Hmm.
it's still growing, still people are getting used to it. So that's something that I still don't teach for a complete beginner, just focus on one offer, one funnel, grow your list, and then after that you can try it out. But the moment that you try it out, if you stay consistent with one link, you're not gonna see the same results as having more offers, more products. It's probably gonna take you a couple steps back as income. You get me? If you have way too many offers in your link in your profile.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. This is your first time setting up a stand store, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so how was the process? Fairly straightforward, fairly easy, and what are the advantages of having a stand store over like creating a here's everything I have page on your funnel? Is it just simplicity, or are you looking to keep, you know, something that people are used to seeing, because stand stores are obviously very popular. Was there any thought process behind that, or any insight that
Yeah,
you can give us as to
it's
why you chose it?
yeah. So as far as the stand store, I just wanted to try it out, right?
Hmm.
And then I saw how simple it is. So it's super simple to use. You can start promoting different digital products if you want, basically all in the stand store, and you can link it to with Stripe. So you process the payments all in the platform, and then they go straight to your Stripe account. So that's super simple. Now, in order to make pages for people to purchase, it's also a very simple process. For example, I don't have a funnel for this MRR course that I'm promoting, but I'm able to put information in some sort of like a checkout page in the same stand store. And that way I can sell the digital product and then they fulfill it for me. They send the email and then that's it, right? They send the receipt and that's it. So they do the hard work for me. And then from there, I have other links, which are basically links for one is the podcast, one's for my Spanish funnel, where I'm still funneling them uh, through a personal funnel, right? So that I can catch their email address. And then there's another funnel that I'm putting, which is the Entra Institute, which is another, low ticket way to get started with an online business. And that goes straight to a different funnel. You get me? So I have different funnels in one stand store, one digital product on the stand store, and then of course the podcast. And then I can possibly add more stuff later on, right? If I want to
Right.
have other digital products.
Yeah, and I think that's the benefit, or at least the value proposition for a lot of people, is like you said, the ease of implementing the checkout page, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I still use ClickFunnels, the classic version, and it's great, and I'm happy with it. But yeah, setting up a product in ClickFunnels is probably 10 times harder than setting up a product in the Stand store, right?
Yep. Yep. Because on ClickFunnels, you have to test the Stripe store. You have to link it up. You have to create a product. You have to match the product ID with the stand store during testing, or else it's not going to link up and it's not going to know where the money is going. So that's those things, you have to do. But for this, it was so simple as far as just link up your PayPal and then create the checkout page, put the price, and then go. You're ready to sell.
You're ready to start
That's
selling.
that's how
Now, does
simple it was.
does Stand store take a percentage of the sale, or is it just Stripe, or is it a little bit from both?
I think there's no fees if you link it up to Stripe, but Stripe does get a fee. You get me? Stripe
Yeah.
always will charge you.
Okay, so there's
Um,
no additional from the Stand store.
there's no additional fee. There's a 7 free day or 14-day free trial or 7 days. I think it's 7 days. And then for the original or like the basic plan is like 20 something a month.
Okay, cool. Is that
I
what
think
you're
it's
using?
29. Yeah. Yeah, I'm using the basic plan. They also have cool templates that you can use also, so you can modify the way it looks, your stand
Mhm.
store. You can change the color, you can change it to your branding, you can change the font of the letters. So there's a couple things that you can customize. You can link up all your social media platforms as well. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just straight to the point, right? Either you want to start digital marketing, or you want to start your online business, or you want to do this in Spanish, or you want to do this, or check out my podcast.
Yeah,
Super
exactly.
simple.
Now, does Stan Store have any like email management, or can you connect an autoresponder, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you can actually create an opt-in page in your
Mhm.
Stand store. So you can start collecting emails. Let's say you want to send like a free guide or something. They do have an email integration, but I believe it's only with Namecheap.
Okay.
Let me double check real quick.
Before we start
Where's
spreading rumors here.
yeah.
Yeah. Because even if you're
It's
selling a digital product, I think you can benefit from doing something with those buyer lists, right? If someone buys a digital
mhm.
product from you, you definitely want to follow up with them because now they're a buyer, which means they're a hotter lead. So
Yeah, so they have their own email flows. You can send automatic emails. I think
got it.
it's through them actually. I don't think it's an integration.
Got
Yep,
it.
I think it's through them. You can also have appointments. So if you want to have a calendar, you can also do it right there. I did see something about integrations, but I can't find it right now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that's really cool. And you know, the most important thing I think is to know where you're at in your business, right? Know what your goals are because you know, I've seen people who are more of a personal brand than anything else. You know, the first person that comes to my mind is Rachel Peterson, who I kind of know through ClickFunnels. I mean, I've never met her, but that's where I've seen her. And I don't really follow her too much and don't know too much about her, but I know she's one of those people who's created, you know, instead of creating one high ticket program, she's created dozens or hundreds of products. And, you know, that's kind of what she did. It's more of a social selling thing. When you build enough trust and enough authority on social media and you're doing low ticket products or front end tripwire offers, you know, it is, you know, super simple to sell different things at different times. And I even have that going on right now where I have a what I call a new front door for my coaching program where I created a secondary webinar to match the master resale rights craze. So I still have my free course, but I also have this secondary webinar, which teaches master resale rights with the ultimate goal of getting people in my coaching program so I can help them out further. But yeah, it's kind of gets a little funky. You know, I have one, and you know, is my call to action go find me on Instagram, or is my call to action click the link in the bio? And it's kind of one of those points in my career too, where it's like, all right, well, everybody knows I have my thing, but if I want to sell other stuff, maybe it makes sense to either create a stand store or probably what I would do is you know, here's what I offer type page on my funnel or website where it's, hey,
Yeah.
how can I help you? Because the bottom line is people really want to be helped in the way that they want to be helped. You know what I mean? Someone who's been researching how to make money online or how to learn digital marketing, they have an idea of the route they want to go. So it's much easier to help them go down the path they've already chosen than it is to say, yeah, I know that looks great, but this is actually what you want to do. I mean, obviously you can do that and we do that as marketers, but sometimes it's a little less friction and resistance just to help guide them down the path they're already traveling down.
Exactly. And I think that makes it a little easier too, especially when you have so much going on. You get me? Just how you said, you have different front doors offers, you have different coaching stuff in the back end. So, you're sending to, but where are you sending it? Which one do you
Mhm.
decide to send them first? I think that's where the problem comes, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, because let's be honest, you know, that's all part of the omnipresence, right? And you're not
Exactly.
guaranteed to be able to reach your followers on social media like Instagram and TikTok. You're kind of at the mercy of the algorithm. So when they see you and they really start to binge your content or watch other videos or just really engage with every single new post that you offer, I mean, that's the hot time, right? And they're never going to be hotter than right now. It doesn't mean you can't make sales if they get on your email list and continue to email them for the next 6 months. Obviously, that happens. But while everything's working together, while they're seeing your content, while they get every video that you post out, and they just entered your email list and got your freebie or went through your free course or watched your webinar, and they're getting follow up that's specifically optimized and tailored to match that front door that they came through. I mean, that's the hot spot, right? That's when the conversion rate is the highest. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense for you.
Yeah, so I'm checking it out. I'm gonna see how it goes, and not saying that I'm gonna stick with it, but we'll see. We'll see where it lands, right? Where it goes.
And that's the
But yeah,
thing. I
that's super
mean,
exciting.
yeah,
Yeah.
test, try new things. Don't be stuck in your ways. Don't become a dinosaur. Just, be open to the possibility that something might be better. And if it's not, it's not. No big deal. At least you can eliminate that as something in your mind and move on, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, nothing's gonna be horrible. You get me? At this point, nothing's gonna be horrible.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, Brian. So now you started doing ads. You started running ads in 2024 for the first time. Have you seen any changes as far as like the old time you were running ads?
No, I mean it's pretty much the same. And just to be clear, I ran a fair amount of ads in 2021 or 2020. I think it was the end of 2020. That was mostly on Facebook. And then I ran some ads in 2022 and 23 on TikTok and spent some significant money, not crazy. I'm not a big ads guy still. I've probably spent more than six figures in my time, but not multiple six figures. Certainly not a seven-figure ad buyer. But yeah, so in 2024, I reformatted my program in order to just keep up with the times and keep it up to pace. And so I wasn't really running ads because the first thing we're going to talk about is when do you run ads, right? And I
Yeah.
think what I see in the market is a lot of people get interested in this make money online game, but they're just super scared of content, or they don't think they're good enough, or they can't commit to the consistency or whatever their excuses are. And so they're like, well, I'll just run ads. That's so much easier, right? I create a piece of
Hmm.
content, post it, pay for it, and I'll get traffic coming in. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. I'll promise everyone right now. I can't promise too many things, but I promise everyone right now, ads are way harder than content. Content organic is still the way to go, the way to get started, and it's still, excuse me, a majority of what I focus on. Because ads fatigue, ads, need to be tested, and you're spending real money and oftentimes significant money
Yeah.
when you're running ads. The other thing is ads are not a magic bullet or an easy button. Ads simply accelerate results. So if you have a system, a funnel or a webinar or an opt-in or an offer with pre-framing that isn't optimized, guess what? When you run ads to it, you're just going to lose money faster. You know what I mean? It has to be optimized, and that's exactly why I finally started running ads again. I waited till the time was right. I waited for the market to tell me, "Hey, you may as well put some money behind this." And what happened is I did create that new front door. I created that webinar that matched the master resale rights trend right now, and it's a very simple part of my funnel. It's still on my 90-minute affiliate challenge, but it's just further down the funnel. And it's very simple. It's two pages. It's an opt-in page, which is just collects
Hmm.
an email and pre-frames a little bit. And that sends people right to I call it a webinar, but all it is a Zoom recording. It's a 38-minute Zoom recording that
Like a
sells three
VSL,
things. Is it a VSL?
kind of, or not really?
Yeah, I mean, I think of it more of as a webinar because
Yeah.
of the way it's structured. So I've done VSLs, video sales letters, and webinars, and they're all kind of the same. You're trying to achieve the same goals, but I think of it more of as a webinar because even though I'm using those marketing tricks and those webinar hacks and stuff like that, what I'm really doing is educating people and showing
Hmm.
them why what I have to offer is what they need to make the difference. I mean, that's the key is why is our thing the missing piece in any sales webinar. So they go to it. It's just a Zoom recording. It's 38 minutes. And at the end, I give a pitch for three different products. It's bonuses that can help them um, add bonuses to their master resale rights campaign so they can differentiate themselves, or I offer them the opportunity to buy into the master resale rights program, which I promote, which happens to be Roadmap to Riches. If they do that, they want to get started with it, they get my bonuses for free, or I sell them into my coaching program, which is the high ticket $2,000 program where they get everything. They get access to master resale rights program, they get access to the bonuses, they get access to the coaching and all the other modules. So that was it. So I just kind of tested it. And I put this together and I switched my link on TikTok to go straight to this webinar instead of the homepage of my free course. Obviously, I sent emails to people who've been on my list for a while and already gone through all the automations for whatever they opted in to let them know about this. And it converted really well. It converted about 8.5% of people who attended that webinar bought something, which is
Oh,
really
nice.
good. So that's what I mean by I let the market tell me. Okay, cool. Now I'm 8.5% I'm converting for at least the $97 sale. Some people spend $97, some people spend $497, some people spend $2,000. So I know my bottom line is, hey, I'm converting 8.5% or 8.8% or whatever it was for $97. Okay, cool. Now I can use that information and go start testing some ads because I know what my minimum sale is. So I know that my cost per action has to be below $97. Or even if it's close to $97, it's fine because remember, some people are going to buy a $497 product. Some people are going to buy a $2,000 product. So the market's telling
Yeah.
me, the webinar's telling me, hey, let's put some money behind this because there's potential for this math to work out, right?
Then that's awesome. I mean, it's all about testing it out, right? It's all about testing it out. When you're running ads, I haven't really run ads since I did my drop shipping back in 2020, to be honest, when I was just trying to make a sell, you get me? So I was running those Facebook ads and just with the tracking and different campaigns, and it was just such a headache, to be honest. I was able to get, progress. So I got clicks, I got views, I linked it up to my Instagram as well. So I was getting Instagram followers. I was getting interactions, but I wasn't making those sales. You see that money go real quick. When you're putting a lot of money, even if you don't know what you're doing. I was just testing it out. But that's cool that now that you wait for the market to tell you what to do, and then you basically act on it, right? You have to do it, or else you're gonna stay behind like a dinosaur, just how you said it earlier. So it's interesting. Oh, you, Brian. Yeah, no, I can't hear you at all. You're on mute.
I was mute
There
because I
you
was
go.
going to cough. What a
Oh yeah, you
shit
left it on
show.
mute, right?
Yeah. All right, let's start this again. All right. Let me make sure.
You're on mute again. Okay, there
All
you
right,
go.
I think I'm good right now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's exactly right because running ads, I mean, it's not difficult. You were new to the game, never tried it, you figured it out. Even making sales with ads is not too terribly difficult. You just drive traffic to an offer and you're going to run into some buyers. That's why when you go viral, you make sales, you're going to run into some eventually.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is being profitable. So you have to have a good system in place. So that's what we're gonna talk about. But before I open up my screen and take people who are watching on YouTube inside the dashboard to just kind of give you a general overview of how to set up TikTok ads, not so you can be an expert, but so you can have the confidence to go out there if you're ready and test it. You have to know the ultimate goal. And you have to be clear about it. My ultimate goal is not to scale this offer to $1 million a month or anything like that. Because once again, this is a master resale rights webinar. The master resale rights market, I mean, it seems like it's everywhere when you get caught in the algorithm, but I don't know. What is it? 200,000 people, 300,000 people, is it 400,000 people, maybe 500,000 people? It's not a whole lot. It's
Yeah.
not a big market. I did a poll in a couple of my groups and half the people are like, I've never even heard of master resale rights. You know what I mean? So it's not a huge market. So my goal is not to scale this because I know there's not enough inventory as far as potential customers to scale it. And I think that's a key point to remember when you're looking at ads gurus, because anyone can be profitable at $20 a day or $50 a day. But it's when you start scaling, the numbers get a little wonky. But like I said, that's not my goal here. My goal is just to put money behind a profitable webinar so I can get exposure to those 500,000 or 400,000, right? So they get to know me.
Yeah.
So then they'll be like, oh, this guy's cool. He gave us this free training and maybe I'm buy something, maybe I don't. But either way, now I recognize him. So the next time I see him on TikTok organic, I might stop the scroll. Next time
Yeah.
want to read an email from him, I might go see if he's got a podcast, just to kind of expand the brand. And if I can do it profitably, that's great. So that's an important disclaimer here. Is that's the ultimate goal is just to force the exposure because we're not getting as much reach as we used to. I mean, it's just a fact. There's more competition. So that's my goal is just to get more people to know me. And if I can do it profitably, that's great.
And just to add something real quick, I never understood when somebody says, "Yeah, I have a seven-figure business," but then how much money are you spending on advertisement? You get me? Oh, I'm spending $800,000 on advertisements. So he's not even making any much money. You get me? Just because he's just selling or funneling all the income, the profit into ads. So yeah, you have a successful business, but is it really successful? Like, are you profitable? That's what I never understood
Yeah,
back then. How
and that's
they
the
have these
important
big businesses,
yeah, and that's the important thing to understand with content is, I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, I don't remember where it was, but I mean, literally, like once you make like 350 to $400,000 a year, it gets pretty hard to spend it all. I mean, you don't really, unless you have dreams of buying a yacht or flying private, there's just you don't really need much more than three, 400,
right?
maybe $500,000 a year. It's you can't spend it. Yeah, obviously you save some of it and invest some of it, but it's just like you're comfortable at, I think, 250 to 300. I mean, it's so the point I'm getting at is not to throw out numbers. The point I'm getting at is you can easily get to that with organic. So don't feel like you need to run ads to have a successful business. That's important.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
what
today you're gonna give us a little sneak peek of how to
yeah,
run TikTok ads, correct?
yeah, absolutely. I just set up a brand new campaign last week. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here if I can find it. And we'll just kind of get into it and show you just kind of some of the things that you should look for here. So maybe, maybe not.
If you
No,
can
we'll
get
get,
it going.
yeah, if we can get it going here, we're gonna share some stuff. And it's funny because there we go. This has got to be it right here.
Yeah, we made a joke before we started, like nothing was going right, and I was like, it wouldn't be a podcast if it didn't go everything perfectly right.
Yeah, exactly. If you try to do something live and share a screen, it's gonna go to crap real fast. But yeah, so if you're listening over on any other podcast platform, you can definitely find us, the Evolved Marketing Podcast, on YouTube if you want to see the screen here. And just to make sure before we get too far into it, you can see my screen, Andre, or not?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
perfect. I think we're good.
Yeah. Good to go.
Yeah. All right, cool. So this is my ads dashboard. And I just had a moment where I was like, Andre, are we even recording? Which we are. So good news.
Yeah, we are.
Just panic sets in. Gee, man, we're losing everybody. All right. So this is my ads dashboard. So you can see here, this is the brand new campaign that I started. And what I did for this is the first thing you have to do is you obviously have to create your pixel, right? Because the pixel is how the ads dashboard can track what happens on your website. And so if we go over to events here, you can see that you're just going to manage your web events. And basically what you have to do is, for this, I created a brand new pixel, and you can create as many pixels as you want. I'm not going to go through that process because it's pretty easy to figure out. Anyways, once you create your pixel, then you need to install it on your website. And once again, I'm not going to show that because it doesn't, it's going to be different depending on what website software you're using, what funnel software you're using. It's really easy to figure out. Just Google. If you're using ClickFunnels, just Google, how do I install a TikTok pixel on ClickFunnels? If you're using System.io, just how do I install a TikTok pixel on
Gotcha.
System.io? And you'll find a YouTube video that'll show you how to do that. But once you have your pixel set up and it's installed on your website, one thing that you can use is the TikTok Pixel Helper, which is a Chrome extension. And I'll just go ahead and go to my website really quickly and show you that once you have that installed, then you can double check to make sure that your pixel is set up correctly. And all I did is open that Chrome extension that I installed for free. And you can see that when I'm on the website that the funnel's on, it shows that I have 2 TikTok pixels installed, which is good news. It means I have it installed correctly,
Nice.
right? And then from there, what you want to do is you want to actually create your events. And what an event is basically, what do we want TikTok to measure, right? So for example, I'm going to use this pixel. We can go ahead and click on this pixel, open it up, and you can see that, it's recognizing, page views, and how many people subscribed and stuff like that. But when you're running ads, what we really want to optimize for is the conversion that we want. And what I mean by that is, if I am just looking to generate leads and I tell TikTok that I wanted to optimize for leads, TikTok is going to look at all the people who opt in and they're going to say, okay, cool. We're going to go find more people just like that. But really, we don't want leads. We want sales.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing affiliate marketing and you're capturing leads and then sending people over to an affiliate offer and you don't have a way to install your pixel on their purchased confirmation page, I probably wouldn't run ads, or at least I'd be very scared to. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking to optimize for people who purchase my $97 offer. And I'll show you how to set that up. But what that does is that TikTok will bring in leads. And then when people start buying, they'll be like, okay, cool. Out of all the leads we brought in for you, these are the people who are more likely to buy. So instead of targeting people who are just likely to opt in, we're going to start targeting people who are willing to buy. Right. And so what happens is your cost per lead shoots up, but your conversion rate goes up as well. And all you have to do is drop that number, in my case, below $97, and it's free money at that point, right? So that makes sense, I hope?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So once again, I'm running this. Let me go ahead and show the funnel that I'm running this to. That way everybody has a clear picture. Then I'll show you how we set this up. So this is the page. This is just a preview, so you can't see the actual URL. But this is the page that I send all the traffic to. This is the same page that I tested with my link in the bio. And once again, it's very simple. When they come to this page, TikTok will recognize that they clicked over and I have a page view. But what happens is they're going to go ahead and opt in. Let's go ahead and use an email address that's already in my system. Then they're going to come to this page, and this is where the webinar is. And once again, it's nothing fancy. It's just a Zoom recording, 38 minutes long with buy buttons below. So they're going to watch this webinar, and obviously I have email follow-up to send people back to this webinar. But what happens is if they buy any one of these two things, right? They buy Roadmap to Riches, or if they buy into just the bonuses where they probably already have Roadmap to Riches, but they want my funnels and stuff. When they complete this payment here, they're sent over to a one-time offer page. And this is where I was talking about this is a new front door. I send them to this page. So this is after they purchase.
Okay.
And what I do is I offer them a payment plan for my coaching program, which normally I don't offer. Normally it's $2,000, but this I say, hey, you just bought something for me. You can opt in and pay $200 a month for $9, which saves them money and allows them 9 months. I don't know if I said $9 or 9 months, but this allows them to get into the coaching at $200 a month, this is the only place they can get this, and they only have to pay 9 payments instead of 10. So it's a great deal. So if they take this, obviously I add that to their order automatically. If they don't take this deal, no problem. They go over to the confirmation page. The reason, and I can show you what that looks like, it's just simple. Hey, your account's been unlocked, create your account and all that. But the reason I wanted to show this is because not everybody's going to necessarily, some people will just close out this browser, right? And they'll go get the fulfillment email. So I want my conversion event to be this page, not the thank you page, not the confirmation page, right? So even though they may buy something more, I'm only trying to optimize for that initial $97 sale because I know everything on top of that is gravy. If I can just get that metric, my lowest price point on the sales pitch, if I can just hit that, then everything else is profit. If someone spends $2,000, great. But anyways, so this is my confirmation page. So what we want to do is we want to take this page and we want to grab the URL. Right. So, for example, this is the URL that people are going to go to after they buy a $97 offer. Are we still following here?
Yeah. So you want people to target that page, right? Instead of just the opt-in. So you want people to go through basically.
Yeah. The only way
the TikTok ads target that, right? Like you're able to target it. So they have to make it to this page.
Yeah. And the only way someone's going to see this page is if they buy something.
Okay.
Right. So what I'll do is once I know this is my confirmation page or this is my conversion page, even though they might buy more after this is the page I want to optimize for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy some unique identifiers in this URL. So what I mean by that is if I just copied 90minuteaffiliatechallenge.com, what's going to happen? any page they go to on the 90-minute affiliate challenge is going to fire as a purchase conversion, but I don't want that. So what I have to do is I have to copy the unique part. So obviously this extension right here is unique to this page. You won't find 90 Mac OTO 10 pay on any other page. So I'm going to go ahead and Command C and copy that. So once I know what my conversion page is and the unique part of the URL, that's when I can go in and actually create the event. And once again, this is going to be a custom payment or complete payment, excuse me. So I'm just going to edit this to show you what it looks like. Basically, what you do is you go to the event builder, and it's really super simple. You create your event, and in this case, you do it with URL tracking, and you do the URL contains this, and you paste that unique URL right in there and go ahead and save it. So now what TikTok can do because of the pixel is anytime someone hits a page that has this unique URL, it's going to count that into the purchase conversion, which is the conversion event that I'm optimizing for. Right?
Gotcha.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Cool. Then to set up the ads, it's really super simple. And this is pretty much the end of it. You know, now you're going to go ahead and create your campaign. And I'll just create a demo one really quickly. And then I'll show the results that I'm getting so far. So what I'll do is I'll just create a campaign. I'm going to create using the advanced strategy, which is not as scary as it sounds. I'm going to optimize for website conversions. I'll name this something. Next thing I want to do is I want to set the campaign budget optimization. And what this is going to do is this is going to charge at the campaign level, but we can create multiple ad sets in there. I'll spend my $50 a day, which is my minimum. I'll go ahead and continue. Then I'll select the pixel that I created, in which case this is the 90 Mac for Win the Roadmap. And then this is important. This is where you want to select your optimization event. In this case, it's the complete payment event that I scheduled, right? This
with
says,
a special URL.
Exactly. So anyone who hits that, that's what we're going to try to optimize for. So we're optimizing for purchases, which is what we want. Because once again, if you optimize for leads, you're going to get leads, but paying for leads doesn't make any sense. You pay for sales. So you can select your placement and get rid of this and this, whatever those two things are. And so that way it's only shown on TikTok. And this is where you create your audiences, right? You can create lookalike audiences, which I won't go into because obviously if you're a beginner, you can't do that. But you just dial in your targeting. So for example, in this case, I want to target anyone in the United States. I'll do males and females as long as they're 25 or older. Right. I want to do people who speak English, which is right there because that makes sense for me in my offer. I don't mess around with household income because I've never been able to dial that in. You can either do high spending power where it spends it as quickly as possible or just the regular, which is what I like, which will try to extend that out of the course of the day, which is a little less scary.
Okay.
And this is where you create your audiences. So, for example, if I'm doing this, I might see if I can search anything with master resale rights. So cool. I can optimize or have TikTok target people who've had interaction with the hashtag master resale rights. So that's cool. What's the problem with that? That's a very small audience, right? Yeah. 29,000 to 37,000. So that's not great. That's going to be super small. I might be able to test that audience for a day or two, but let's be honest, that is a very small audience and it's probably not worth it.
Most likely those people are already into a program, right?
Right, which is fine because I'm selling the bonuses to people who are already in it, so it might work out, but that's just it's too small. So what I did instead is I just targeted affiliate marketing in this case. And, you can select all the hashtags and stuff like that are related to affiliate marketing. And then you can see they're still pretty small. So maybe I have to add in something like digital marketing or whatever, you know what I mean? To the point where I'm getting at least 100, 200,000 people that I can target, right? So you can play around with. Yeah, side hustle is great. Side hustle was one that I used just so we can get a big enough audience. And make sure we're optimizing for the conversion. That's pretty much all you have to set there. And then from there, it's as simple as, let me move this out of my way. You probably can't see this, but this is in my way. So from there, now you just create your ad. Easiest way to create your ad, literally, Andre, that's the beauty of TikTok, is to create a bunch of TikToks. Just keep in mind it has to be 60 seconds or less to run an ad. So don't do a
Okay.
10-minute TikTok and expect. But this has worked so well. This is how I've done all of my ads on TikTok. Is create a bunch of TikToks, try to figure out which ones are performing the best, literally download them without the watermark using any app. Just search how to download TikToks without the watermark. And then I just re-upload it to the dashboard, right?
Hmm.
Super simple. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to say click the button. It can be check out the link in my bio. It all works because when you click on the bio from a TikTok ad, it takes you to the destination that you put in.
Yeah.
I always create a new custom identity. I don't use my TikTok account. So you can just enter whatever you want, upload your picture, and that's where it'll run ads from. So you can see here, this identity that I'm using right now is Brian Brewer, MRR expert, which I don't have a TikTok account that matches that, but it's
Hmm.
congruent with the offer. So that's great. I upload my video. I add my call to actions. I do my little teaser text right here, right? Which in this case, I use free training, how to win the roadmap. And this is the URL that I want people to go to. So once again, in this case, I want to get the URL for the opt-in page, which I probably can't find it now because we're doing this live. But yeah, so I just copy this URL. And this is where I want people to go to, right? So I'm going to put that right in my ad. And from there, it's pretty much done. Submit. It's got to go through a approval phase, and then it's running. So the last part of this is, I'll show you in the one that's running, is the best way I've found to optimize or let TikTok optimize for this is to create one campaign. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put multiple ad groups in that campaign. So let's say I had that first one, which was the affiliate marketing. I could just copy it. And in this case, I did no targeting. Copy that in there. And do the same thing. Select the same pixel, the same optimization event. But what I did is, instead of targeting people who might be interested in affiliate marketing, I targeted anyone in the United States who was 25 or older, right? That gives me an audience of 85 million to 104 million people estimated. Still run the same ad. When it continues to add, you can see the ad is already populated for you. So you still run the same ad, you publish it, which I'm not going to do that right now. See, it's already populated and ready to go for me. What I'll end up with is a campaign with 2, 3, 4 different ad groups in it, all running the same ad. And what happens here is TikTok will automatically figure out which one's the best, and they'll appropriate a majority of the budget to that accordingly. So the idea here is you have one that's no targeting. And remember, this was a brand new pixel, so anybody can do this. And
Yeah.
one that's targeted. And the idea here is I'm going to let this targeted ad set or ad group automatically kind of show or train the no targeted one. Because what happens is TikTok will initially start putting a majority of the budget to the one that's more targeted. But once it starts collecting data, even though I didn't have sales, it's looking at click-through rate and all that stuff and page views. It's going to be like, okay, we're starting to understand what type of people are engaging with this ad. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of budget towards the no targeting because it's a much bigger audience.
Mm-hmm.
And what you can see here is the cost per 1,000 views drops pretty dramatically because the inventory is so much bigger. It has
Yeah.
more flexibility with who it's going to send to. And then what it's going to say is, okay, cool. We start to understand who might engage with this, and then it learns. And then the cool thing is these conversions, you're going to see I have 3 conversions right here. But if you remember from the event, I had 15 conversions after I installed this pixel. What TikTok can do, which is really cool, is it can take your organic data and apply it to learning ads data as well. So you don't have to start from zero necessarily. You have to start from zero from the point you install your pixel, but you don't have to start from zero because if you're generating organic traffic, which you should be, because you shouldn't be running ads if you haven't tested organically, then every person who buys organically, TikTok can look at that and say, oh, we're starting to understand the type of people. So let's apply it to the ads. And you can see here, we get to no targeting very quickly. I never even made any sales with the affiliate marketing or the lookalike audience that I had from a
Yeah.
different campaign. So now I'm making 3 sales already, which is great because look at my cost per action. My CPA is $81.33. And if you remember from earlier, as long as I'm below $97, this is
Yep.
free money right here. So
Yep.
that's how we know. Okay, cool. Now let's bump the budget up. So I started at $50 a day. Now I bumped it up to $100 today. If the metrics still hold, I might bump it up to 150, but I'm not going to go crazy on this because once again, the goal is not to get to $300 a day like I've done with some other campaigns because the audience isn't that big. The goal is just to get reach and exposure profitably. And I would expect that'll be somewhere south of $200 a day. But once again, if it's profitable, then that's free money, that's free brand exposure, and that's my ultimate goal right now.
Yeah. So right now I have a question. Right now you have basically you're split testing different campaigns or different groups with one campaign, right?
Split testing different ad groups, yes, but
Right.
because that's a good point. Remember at the beginning when I started setting this ad up, I checked the campaign budget optimization box.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically telling TikTok, okay, cool, I want to set my budget at the campaign level and let you figure out which ad group, and what you can also do is create multiple ads inside each ad group and
Mm.
which ad to optimize for or to spend. So basically I'm telling TikTok, hey, I'm going to give you a bunch of different ads in a bunch of different ad groups, and I want you to figure out the best place to put it.
And then TikTok will figure it out like which one performs better than the other one, and then they're gonna put more budget into that one specifically, right?
So quickly. And then once you figure out, okay, cool, this one's performing the best, and obviously this is the biggest target, right? This is like 84 million people. This
Yeah.
is the one I want to optimize for. So for example, let's say I had this one active still. Let's say this one jumps out to a lead, the affiliate marketing one. I'm not going to cancel the no targeting one. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to let this ad group train this ad group because this is the ultimate ad group that I want spending. But this one started outperforming quickly. I was like, well, cool. There's no reason to spend money here because
Mm.
this is the one I want to optimize for and spend for anyways. So going forward, now that I know that this campaign and this ad group, which is my ideal ad group, is running profitably, now what I do is go into my ads and I'll just copy these ads and I'll make a bunch of copies and I'll just take more TikToks and upload them. So I'll have 4, 5, 6 different ads going in my ideal ad group in the campaign, optimizing for the purchase. And then TikTok can say, okay, cool, this ad creative is performing the best. So let's put our money here. Now it's starting to get tired or fatigued because people have seen this a bunch. So let's test out all the other ones. Now it knows, oh, this new ad's actually outperforming. So we're going to stop spending on that previous ad and start applying a majority of the budgets in the new ad. And TikTok does this automatically. And as long as you keep your creatives fresh and you're in a big enough audience, like no targeting United States, 25 or older, then it'll continue to work to find the best possible combination. And once again, as long as your metrics stay where you're at, you can keep spending.
I feel like this is much easier than Facebook Facebook ads
It's
because I
not
remember
only
it was such a headache to figure it out, to be honest.
it's not only easier, but the attribution, meaning how does it match up a purchase to what they have in their data, is like infinitely better.
Yeah.
Because Facebook, it was like, okay, this person bought, I know they came from a Facebook ad because they came through this page of the funnel, but you don't count it as an optimization event. You are not tracking it. You didn't attribute it to that click on an ad. So it takes much longer to get good data. TikTok is
Gotcha.
amazing. Not only does it know how to use the better data better than Facebook ever did, in my opinion, the attribution is really good. On my last campaign, I think it was at like 94% attributed, meaning, yeah, I had 6% of my sales I know came from TikTok and they didn't get attributed, but who cares? That could be, privacy settings in the user's browser or whatever. There's
Yeah.
just things we can't control with these cookies and pixels and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it was definitely above 85% attribution. I think it
Wow.
was like 94% attribution, which is great because when you know everything is working, for example, I started this campaign, I didn't even create a separate page because I knew the attribution was going to be good. So I can just trust it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's also good that you also have your own organic traffic coming as well, right? So now you're getting the paid ads and also the organic traffic. And then is there a way also to target that organic traffic with ads? I'm sure you can
I
also set it up, right? Like
Yeah, you
together.
could set up retargeting for sure, but once again, that's my goal is not to make the most amount of money from the ads right now. The goal is to get enough people or the most amount of people to know me, like me, and trust me, so I can sell them not this, but this and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and hopefully they come subscribe to the podcast and hopefully they follow me on Instagram and all that stuff. So that's the ultimate goal: reach
That's
profitably.
perfect. Yeah, I mean, TikTok is the best way to get the most amount of reach in the beginning. You get me? So you can easily get so much reach. Your videos can get viral. It's still your best platform, right? Probably because that's the one that you've been blowing up forever.
I mean, for me, it's the best one, and I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but since I've been running ads, my organic has actually started to perform better. Maybe because they saw my ad and then they see an organic, and because the targeting is so interest based, it's like I'm just gonna. My ultimate goal is really just to be the one that everybody sees in this new hot opportunity, which happens to be the hottest opportunity on TikTok. So I'm basically forcing myself to be the authority in the space, which means sales now, but good things later down the road as well. Because when I blew up on Legendary Marketer, I haven't done Legendary Marketer in 2 years now. I still make some sales, but it's just stuff I don't even know where it comes from anymore. But that really established me as an authority. And if all these
Mm.
people got introduced to me through Legendary Marketer, like you, Andre, that's how we met. Look what's come of it. Amazing things. And there's other people been following me who've moved with me to the next thing and the next thing, or they've gone
Yep.
their own way, but they still reach out to me and say, "Hey, Brian, I'm thinking about doing this." Like Mila, she just reached out to me the other day. She would have never known who I was if it wasn't for Legendary Marketer. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. That's the goal: is here's the hot opportunity. Now that organic has proven we have an opportunity with the conversion rate of that webinar. Remember, that's how important organic is. Now I can force the issue.
Beautiful, Brian. Beautiful. Perfect, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for showing us the TikTok training. I know we kind of teased it a couple episodes back, maybe like a month or more than that. I'm not really sure, but I know we talked about it. I was like, hey, let us know in the comment section to see if you want to see a training for TikTok ads, and we did actually get a couple responses. So there you guys have it. A little bit late, but serving you guys.
And that's the thing. That's what really this podcast is all about. It's about serving you when it makes sense. And because I just started that new campaign, it made sense to dive into this day and hopefully into this today, and hopefully you learned something. And once again, you might not be ready yet, but now you'll have some confidence when you are ready. Whether it's your first front end offer, whether it's your first digital product, whether it's your Instagram guide. Hey, if you can advertise it at break even, free leads, which means free money.
100%. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Vault Marketing Podcast.